There are clouds on the horizon. Charles and William will fall into horse race as their roles evolve. Royal author Penny Junor believes Prince Charles and Prince William are doing a very similar job and may be experiencing some competition as they both prepare to take on new roles. She said, "I think it's always going to be a little bit difficult. With all fathers and sons, I think there's an element of competition, the older man not really wanting to step over just yet and let the younger take his crown. I think that's always going to be a slight issue. I think they're closer than they were, and they're both pulling very much in the same direction." For royal biographer Penny Junor, the relationship between heir apparent Prince Charles and his firstborn son Prince William has the potential to be slightly fraught as they adjust to their new roles now and in the future, especially since William is so much more popular with the public than his father. "I think it's always going to be a little bit difficult," Junor told Newsweek. They, Charles and William, are two people doing a very similar job. With all fathers and sons, I think there's an element of competition, the older man not really wanting to step over just yet and let the younger take his crown. The author doesn't think the two men have a bad relationship by any means, she simply anticipates there being difficulties for them down the road. "I think that's always going to be a slight issue," she continued. "I think they're closer than they were, and they're both pulling very much in the same direction. But that's not the only roadblock Charles will face as he prepares to ascend to the throne. Firstly, the British people are becoming less enthused by the idea of a monarchy, period. And then there's the issue of Princess Diana, who remains a beloved figure more than 2 decades after her tragic death, and whose complicated former marriage to Charles doesn't do anything for his popularity. I think that is something that will haunt him indefinitely, unhappily," Junor explained. "The problem is that at every anniversary she will be brought up again and the facts or a version of the facts will be trotted out. There will always be people who choose to believe everything they see and hear and watch. Much like the royal family, Junor doesn't sound like a huge fan of a certain Netflix show about them all. Things like The Crown I think are incredibly damaging and are giving a false impression of Charles to the world," she said. Speaking to a tenant, Mervyn Keeling, about eventually inheriting the duchy and the importance of family, William said, "I think it's important, Mervyn, about the family angle. I really do. I've started to think about how I will inherit the duchy one day and what I do." Shown this clip during the documentary, Prince Charles was said to have been deeply touched. He confessed, "Frankly, it reduced me to tears. It did really. Because I suddenly thought, well, just hearing that from him has made all the last 50 years worthwhile." As the past few months have shown, Charles and William doesn't only share similar duties but are also deeply committed to safeguarding the environment and repairing the planet. Both royals attended the UN's Climate Change Summit, COP26, earlier this month, when they showed synergy by bringing together business leaders from Charles's Sustainable Markets Initiative and the finalists of William's Earthshot Prize needing investments for their projects. More recently, Prince Charles and Prince William appeared together at the National Service of Remembrance, when the Prince of Wales laid on behalf of the Queen a wreath of red poppies at the cenotaph. This marked the 5th year in a row the heir to the throne led Remembrance Sunday tributes. William also laid a wreath but, in accordance with the pecking order, he did so only after Charles placed at the foot of the cenotaph also his tribute as Prince of Wales.